If you're wanting to thank a vet on this Veterans Day, here's a name to consider, George Lewis Jr. You've never heard of George, but this veteran fought in a most unusual way, in a most unusual flying machine. As you'll see, George Lewis Jr. traveled silently to help win World War II. Here is the sound you're used to hearing with these World War II airplanes. But here's the sound these aircraft made. These are the glider planes of World War II. Gliders that sneak behind enemy lines with troops and armor. Aboard one of those gliders was this man, George Lewis Jr., from just west of Terre Haute at Greenup, Illinois. Nearly 70 years later, George cannot forget what happened on the battlefield.
I think still yet today, if a loud noise out there and I don't see it, I might jump clear across that room.
George and his buddies would load onto one of these gliders in the middle of the night. No engine, no parachutes, just guts. A plane would literally yank them into the air, then let them go. Where they would go is where this story gets really interesting.
Those gliders got down, and the troops and guns inside them got into the fight.
The gliders would land behind enemy lines. George and crew would drag their 75-millimeter guns out, run for cover, and begin the battle. It was deadly warfare.
And this here, that's what they took out of my liver.
2 days after George was shot, he was back on his feet and shortly was headed back to the gliders. Ask George his memories of military command in that awful battle zone. Well, at 93, why mince words?
Say, well, what the hell that stupid you know damn well it's stupid, but he was the guy that had the brass on his shoulder. He's the guy that told you what to do.
A few weeks ago, George had a reunion with a few remaining guys from that elite glider group. They talked of war, of family, and of a nation that they proudly served. George Lewis Jr. came home to the Wabash Valley to farm and work construction. But even after all these years, the memory of war is still with him.
No, it's pretty hard to explain how you felt in that combat.
Combat that George Lewis Jr. still hears today, especially when it is very quiet. I can't imagine what that was like going behind enemy lines like that. I never fully understood what the glider crews did.
I bet he would be so interesting to talk to.
Fascinating
Living history.